Gemini. Hi, this is Marta with Universal Power Tarot, and these messages we bring you today are supposed to encourage, elevate, and empower you guys. Hi, my friends. How are you doing today? I'm here to do your reading for you, obviously. This is going to be such a beautiful one, I already know. I can feel like the oneness factor and everything happening. We already have the oneness card out, the belief card and the trust card, and influence is so beautiful. I'm going to read that to you in a second. So this is your reading over on YouTube. I feel I need to explain the extendeds because I did a little poll and you guys participated, and that let me know that some of you don't know what the extendeds are about, so I'm going to quickly explain it. YouTube is one reading in itself, and then there's the extended that gives you more access and knowledge over your blockages, and is of course more refined because less people go over there than are watching the YouTube readings, so it can truly feel like personal readings at certain times. If this is already resonating with you and you would like to know more, and that's where I recommend you go first before you book a private reading. Of course you can book a private reading or do none of it, whatever you want to do, so that's fine. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please comment if you feel so inclined because it helps the channel grow. And yeah, peace of heart and mind is what this one is about. It is so beautiful and so resonant. It's actually much like the card I just assigned. As some of you know, I'm in the process of designing my own oracle deck, so this was really like vibrating that out. And by the way, just a quick one, a very special one for someone. I removed the candles. You know who I'm talking to. And I spread them out to the side, and I put my crystals back here. So this is really my area. I'm no longer burning myself, okay? So that is all settled and set up but the way I want it to be, okay? For some of you guys, this may be a message for you, but other than that, it's very specific. Okay? Just so you know. That's it. Set it up yourself, okay? So here, and I'm going to read the full card because first of all, it's just gorgeous and beautiful. But it has so much truth in it too. It says influence. The earthly meaning is balance imagination and reality. Be cautious of giving undue influence to baseless assumptions. Distinguish between opinion and evidence. Become aware of false limitations. Put real effort into proving a doubt or fear wrong. Be open to new ideas and perspectives, but do your homework and ensure a claim can hold true in practice as well as theory. The spiritual meaning here is only through the eyes of the soul can the true nature of your life, existence, and purpose be known. All of life flows from the one divine heart of creation. You have a purpose, a meaning, and a role to play in this great journey of life. It may be beyond the knowing of the physical world, but it is not beyond the knowing of your soul. And the inside here is, and I love that one, imagine boarding a sea vessel and setting off for a grand adventure into the great unknown. You have a fantastic crew, plenty of supplies, and you are looking forward to encountering countless new sights and sounds. Excuse me. You may return home with tantalizing tales. Perhaps you will find a pristine paradise to call home. There's a great world of possibility awaiting you, and you are ready to embrace whatever comes your way. But how different would this journey be if you thought the world was flat? If every night you went to sleep worrying you might slip over the edge, never to return, how would it change your outlook? What would you do differently? Would you dare leave sight of familiar shores? Would you dare leave sight of familiar shores? Believing the earth was flat wouldn't make it so, but it would create false limitations and influence everything about your journey. Likewise, believing you are unworthy, unlovable, or incapable does not make it so, but be conscious of the thoughts, opinions, and values that are influencing your journey. Yep. And then they want me to read the oneness card before we get into the tarot. Someone you dearly miss is forever present in your heart. Remember, dearest one, that even though there has been a physical parting, spiritually, those we love never leave us. Yes. Creation is eternal. Nothing is ever truly missing, for all is interconnected and ultimately one. Yeah. And that's where the peace can be found, I believe, even in the greatest of hurts. When you're really tapped in, when you're not that much in the human existence and caught up in all that, which is legit as well, right? Then you can actually feel it. Then you know that this is like the highest truth. Yeah, and that does not, I'm not saying it to devalue shadow, because as you can clearly see, it's all part of it, right? In the moon cycles, everywhere. Light and, like the daylight and the night, they both need each other. They're complementary. They're a necessity to regain strength, to reclude, to get back out again, right? It's that never-ending journey of expansion and contraction, right? And they do need each other, okay? All right. Yes. No. Okay, cool. Wow. So we're starting with the Wildwood Tarot, which we haven't in a while. I'm curious. It's very earthy. King of Stones, the horse. This is really fresh energy, really jovial energy, really like energetic. There's a lot of that in there. And also a lot to learn. This one does have a lot of energy, but they don't know everything. There's a sense of, you know, when you've been through the cycles and you know, you understand more about it, when you do understand them, when you come into that understanding. But that horse right there, that Knight of Stones doesn't know that yet, and that's okay. Now, this could be an external person, or it could be an internalized person of yours, like an internalized figure, or both. Seven of Vessels, morning. So some of you may have indeed lost someone, and I'm very sorry for your loss, because the oneness card already spoke about this, and now the morning here too. And we do have a little gap in between here. Some of you, this is rather specific, may have lost a child, and I am so sorry for your loss again. For others, it is important, and regardless, not just for others, it's important to mourn that, to really acknowledge the feelings regarding this. Or to others, this could mean like having lost a part of yourself along the way, maybe that youthfulness, that playfulness, having lost that, and mourning that too, because that is important, because that's an important step to forgiveness. For example, forgiving ourselves and forgiving others, to acknowledge those feelings and be sad about them is so important. I can feel my heart, I can feel my heart go up with that, like go open. Because when you don't acknowledge that and be like, yeah, that's fine, it wasn't that bad, that's not going to do it. That's just going to keep suppressing it, and you don't want that. Much like her with the influence, yeah, on the card, that is your influence. That's your nurturing influence here. That's what I see as the internal figure, the inner child possibly. And she's nurturing that inner child and taking it out and being like, yeah, I validate you. I validate your emotions and your feelings. They are important. They are valid. I'm holding space for you. And this is important. If you do have children of your own, I'm coming into the awareness how important that actually is, to not be like, oh, that's fine, let's do something else, you know, in the sense of deflecting and being like, yeah, let's do something fun, you know, you can still do that afterwards. But really to hold that space for yourself or your child, that's okay to be sad, that's okay to be angry, and be in that space so they don't feel alone in that space. That's often all it takes. It will dissolve. Watch it dissolve. Try this with your children if you do have children, or try this with yourself. You'll be surprised how fast this emotion turns around, because that was its only job. It's like, hey, got a message for you. That's what that is. Oh yeah, and doves were used in earlier times as messengers, right? Messengers, and that's what that is. Like, that's actually the message of peace. So your most rampant shadow is actually bringing you a message of love and light. And your most love and light may actually be bringing you a savage message. You know what I mean? So these go hand in hand, vice versa, because the more light there is, the more rampant the shadow is. And that's what I believe is very much reflected on our external world right now. Like from what we're seeing on the outside world is more people are becoming conscious, more people are stepping into their light, into the awareness that we're not just a body, we're so much more. And in the same breath, the darkness comes up, like for us to see. It's just like, okay, now you're ready. It's like, now we have the light out, now we need more darkness. It's like, whoa. But the darkness has always been there, and so has the light. It's just a matter of becoming conscious of these workings, right? And then it's different. It changes. Exactly. That's what your reading here seems to be strongly about. Five of Bows, empowerment, and that's exactly where it lies. This is also about the masculine structures. For some of you, you may call that the patriarchy. And it could be that, but it's also like that internalized, like, as you know my readings, if you don't know my readings, I love to go deeper, I love to go inside. And this is where the power truly lies. If you're externalizing it, and if you're like, oh, it's your fault, which we all love to do, right? We love to do that. It's easier, but it doesn't change anything. It's just like passing on the hurt, passing on whatever it is. And it feels good for a second there because our brain, it just works on that. For example, if we're talking anger, our brain strongly reacts to that in a kind of weirdly positive way because it will release hormones or endorphins, something like that, right? Like happy hormones. So because it pumps you up, it's just like a rush. So it's very strong. It has an addictive component even in our brain when we do this. But we need to get off that trajectory and listen more to ourselves, really. To ourselves, to our internalized. How do we view masculinity, really? What is that to us? What does a healthy masculine look like? And again, internalized, right? It'll change from the inside out. And that's that. And it looks like you're getting your power back here, Gemini. Yeah. Believe. Please, Gemini, believe. Be open to all possibilities and opportunities. Let go of preconceived ideas. Yeah, Influence was telling us about that. There is nothing to fear. You are constantly surrounded by love. Start to believe in yourself and trust your instincts. You know who I'm talking to. Wondrous possibilities and opportunities abound, provided you are flexible and retain an open heart and mind. Believe all is possible. Absolutely. All right. What else here for Gemini, please? Thanks. Yeah. My friends, because you are going to teach that one day too. Right? So the ones that are teaching you now, may they be actually people in your life or energy forces or whoever they may be, or just lessons that you're learning. You are going to teach these lessons too, but in your very own way. That's the cool thing about it, because there are no two teachers that teach, even if we're talking about the same thing, let's say love and light and awakening, there are no two teachers that teach the exact same thing, because we all give it our own spin, right? We learn and then we apply it to our lives and pass it on accordingly. And there's also a message too, because we're talking about ego here too, which is important up to a certain point. But it's also important to know thyself and to know thy ego. So it doesn't run away with you, right? Because of the hormones, right? This is all involved. So to allow others to teach their stuff, because it's all valid. It's much the same with tarot readings. And you may have heard me say that before as well. I'm just like, with the love readings, I'm not so much a fan of it per se, although I do watch them or occasionally, right? And I used to binge watch them, but they kept me stuck. This is not to say that I don't see the necessity of them there. They're very necessary. So many people are watching those readings, so they may be keeping people stuck, right? But they're also a gateway to tarot because it became so mainstream because of that, which is excellent. because readers like myself wouldn't even stand a chance if it weren't for the people that are doing those types of readings. So it's very important, right? It may not be my cup of tea, or I'm trying to get away from it. Occasionally I'm still there, and I know that a lot of you are too, and that's completely fine, right? Ultimately, it's our responsibility what we do with it, because that's what that is, and then you're passing it on. How is your experience with it? And these might be super helpful to you, which is precisely what they're here for, because different people teach different things, and all of it is important. Okay. Ha. Four of Bows, exactly. All of it is important. All of it is embraced here. In the end, you know what's funny? Because we do have... we do have the bows here on the ground, so they're really not used that much or at all, right? It's kind of being distanced, being separate from something, like from our own inner fire, being separate from that, right? And this of course happens when we reject internal parts of ourselves. We will reject external parts as well, which is often why we do have such strong reactions to when we see something in another person that we don't like. It's just like pushing it away. That is a good opportunity to have a really good look at our internal workings. Why am I feeling so repulsed by that, right? It's often like, what? I would never do that. Then you go internal questing and you find out, holy shit, I do this too on a different level. This is precisely where the shadow work is leading you to, because this is leading you to your broken off bits and pieces that you reject so heavily. So the moment you start to bring them in and acknowledge them, I do that too. I have that within me. That's when peace of heart and mind returns to you, and also to this world naturally, because you no longer have to push it away like that. You can actually listen to it and understand, and have the necessary compassion that this takes. Yeah. And this is calling for a celebration, like incorporation of all, right? This is amazing. I love your reading, Gemini. So, so cool. All right. Yeah. No, I'm going to interpret this card here with the Ace of Arrows over on Vimeo or Patreon if you would like to follow me. But I'm going to draw an Angels and Ancestors cards for you, for those of you that do not wish to follow me, so this can somehow be a closed reading. You do crazy. You have the Medicine Mother. Honor your inner knowing, Gemini, okay? Yeah, which is precisely what we were talking about here. Look up Oshun if you feel so inclined. The African American goddess. Honey, sunflowers, bees. Yeah, look her up if you feel so inclined. Honor your inner knowing. Take action. Do what you know you need to do. Mother always knows best, they say, and it's true. For we all know a maternal figure who's extremely intuitive and insightful, and this Medicine Mother has gone through many ups and downs. She has lived and she has lost. She knows what it's like to suffer and to want to give up. So the medicine of this card is that it's okay to make mistakes and get it wrong sometimes, and it's okay for things to come to an end. It's not the end of the world. It's just the end of one chapter and the beginning of something new. The Medicine Mother reminds you that even though you will have low lows, you are not here to suffer. You're here to be supported and to support others, precisely with the Teacher card, right? Let her give you the loving encouragement to take the next step forward. There is an old pattern rising up in you now, and it's time to deal with it and release it for good. You're being encouraged to love and respect yourself enough to take the steps you know you need to take to move closer to where you'd like to be. You already know the answers. You know what you need to do. You may have been using delaying tactics or holding back, but now you are being guided to take action. Action requires courage. but your angels and guides are bringing you the courage to move forward. Take just one step. When you do, the next one will be presented to you. Exactly. All right, Gemini, I really hope this was helpful and or insightful to you. Again, we're going to move this over to your extended, to Vimeo and or Patreon if you would like to know more. I'm going to inquire precisely about what is holding you back here, like precise blockages and how you can resolve them, using oracle cards and tarot here, because we still have a card missing over here, I can tell. And we'll see whatever else wants to come out for you. Also, if you are checking out Vimeo and Patreon, I'll post a little like text to your extended, what your extended is about. If you are curious, just go over there and have a look. If that one resonates with you or you feel drawn to the reading, go ahead and watch it. All right, my friends, thank you so much for being here, being part of that tribe. I appreciate you. I really hope it was helpful and or insightful. Much love, light, and shadow. Bye.